Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have a video to do and it's not a live stream. It's not a live stream. I have to actually make myself realize that. Well, it's been a mix, a very messy, past few days for me. So I'm like, what better way to distract myself than with a video? It's been a ooh, did not expect that. But you know what? It's been a while. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do a video. What am I gonna film? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna film that video, that Marielle video comparison because I got some images to compare with. I finally got the color printing on the printer, so I have full color images of of old pictures that of the Marielle tarot here. That I'm like, you know what? This is what it needs, so that y'all can see what I mean, what I'm saying. So, but and I'm still like it's like a random cough that pops up every now and then. I don't know why, but I feel like it's clearing up. I don't know. Maybe I should just stop talking. Maybe that's what it is. But anyways, so I've talked about this deck, about the new edition and the new version like multiple times, and the new editions, some of the things that I liked and disliked about it, things that I'm like, okay, yeah, but whatever. So here we're gonna talk about the first edition and the second edition. This should be more like 1.5. This here technically is the very first edition that was mass published. There's actually an older version that's just the majors only and the aces. This was before all the cards were completed. There's also a sketch deck, which I wish she will I wish she's able to reprint. But yeah, we're not going to do a full flip through. We're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the package changes. We're going to talk about the cardstock changes. We're going to talk about different things that were changed, particularly art. Cards that changed like from the very beginning, from the very first that majors only version that she released, to where we are now with this second edition right here. So I really don't know where to start. I think I should start with this image. If you Google image search the Marielle Tarot, you're gonna find this image, scrolling through the Google images. I can't remember who posted. I'm gonna try and link to the website to where I got this image from, so that I could give credit to where it's from. But this is a very good image here that you can see. Four card images that changed from the originals to the new. So originally that was the old Magician, that's the old Hierophant, that is the old Star card, and that's how the Lovers changed. And the Lovers had there wasn't much difference. I guess that little white face was kind of made more red, and the woman here has an extra face emerging from her face for some I don't know. She changed that though, which she writes very little about the Lovers card, but anyways. So yeah, like that's the very first version. So yeah, what else? What's the next thing that we should talk about? um, I think the next thing we should talk about is the packaging, which I think is what was a little bit of a downgrade for this new second edition. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to fit this. This is a new setup here. I rearranged my room. This is a new test setup, but we'll see. So this was the old box for the first edition. Now, here's one big disclaimer about the first edition. I'm not sure if they're going to keep printing out this version with the borders that's glossy and with the gold edges. I'm not sure if that's going to stay in print. I'm not sure if they're going to discontinue that and just keep printing the second edition. I hope they keep this one available because this one definitely is very different. The cardstock is really nice despite the glossiness. It's much more enjoyable, but there's pros and cons to each of them, and we'll get to them. But first of all, the box is where Schiffer. This was the old Schiffer packaging. This was where Schiffer knew its shit. Like Schiffer was that bitch in the tarot publishing game. They were not there really weren't any other publishers out there making these types of boxes that were there we go. That hard with the ribbons there to hold it open. The cards went here. The book went here. And this just went like this. You would pull out, but you really wouldn't you wouldn't worry about this being pulled out, because it would be, you would have the box like this, or on its side, or whatever. It really didn't feel like it would fall out or it would move out. Now, this is a problem that everybody had with the second edition. Now, I love the second edition box on the outside. I love how the lid is, with the flap, here with the magnetic flap here. I don't know if I can show you that. It's like, look at that. I feel like this would have been really nice if it had like a different design rather than just this. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like they could have done something else there, but it's whatever. That's not the main. That's not an important issue here. So it opens up. This is a thing that I'm greatly disappointed with Schiffer here. All right, first of all, and I started watching California Truth and Stories video. I was like, should I even bother doing this video? She already has her own thing. I'm like, no, I'm gonna add my 2 cents into this. I said I was gonna make a video on this. I'm gonna make a video on this. But this here, what is this? Red Feather, Schiffer, what are you doing? What is this? My Ostara Tarot came with something like this, with this little piece of cardboard insert there. It's annoying. It's like, how hard is it to give me a second while I while I find the guidebook to show you what's going on here. All right, so the guidebook would go there. I'm like, how hard is it to just eliminate this amount of cardboard box, push the cards a little bit this way, center the cards, literally just eliminate that amount of box, resize everything. I know with publishing and making decks like this, it's from a buyer's standpoint who knows very little about printing and making decks. It's very easy to say things like this and not really know, but it's like, come on. I think one rule of thumb is, if you have a guidebook like this, make the box fit around the dimensions of the guidebook, and then make it taller or shorter or however to have the deck within it. Here's another thing. I was very, very, very lucky with my deck not arriving damaged. They were loose. The paper band was off of it. They, were sliding all over the place. They were under this. This isn't glued down or anything. It's just that. You can see where the cards kind of scraped up against the side of the cardboard, because that's where they were sliding around, banging around, when they were shipping around. And that's another thing here that I'm gonna, kind of complain about here. But I'm not sure how I'll get to it. But you can see that here, even in the bottom, that the black edging was scraping up against it. You can see that on the deck, because the second edition is edged in black, kind of. I mean, it's kind of wearing out. You can see that's where I shuffle right there. That little middle white fading part right there. That's where I shuffle. It's kind of wearing out, and I'm eventually, if it wears out too much, I can retouch it with Sharpie. It's a mass-produced deck. I'm not gonna, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, it is a $40 deck. I paid around $40 for it, and I pre-ordered it. So it's like, what are we doing here, Schiffer? I think Schiffer or Red Feather might be going much more eco-friendly, maybe, with the less amount of materials used to make the box, because obviously smaller box, less materials, that makes perfect sense, but I mean, you could have, like I said, when you're wasting materials on this, are you really being efficient? Anyways, that's my little qualms there. But I have seen a lot of horror stories of people getting their cards damaged, chunks of the cards ripped and damaged, because of how when it's shipping over to you, they're really not that gentle with stuff. But even then, it's point is, I was lucky to have my deck arrive in one piece without any damaged or missing cards or any ripped cards, but a lot of people did have that happen to them, and I think that was a big mess up with Schiffer. And I mean, I think a few of their other decks have been like made fine. You know, like their boxes were okay. Like the Ostara, you know, is one where I did have a lot of complaints with it. It had a bunch. It had like, I want to say it had like three of these like dumb cardboard inserts here. You know, this type of shit is the same reason why we got mad at Llewellyn, because they kept putting those dumb boxes where like it was so it. I don't have. I think I have one. Do I have one? No, I had one, but then I got rid of it. But I'm sure if you look up like old walkthroughs of like the Llewellyn Tarot, Tarot of the Hidden Realms, any old Llewellyn deck, you'll see like that dumb white huge cardboard box thing that had like a piece of cardboard sticking out on the side of it. It was weird. Anyways, Schiffer, you're becoming the new Llewellyn in packaging if you keep going down this path. But anyways, aside from that, let's move on to the next thing, the cardstock here, the cardstock differences. So the very first edition, before it came out with the gold edges, the gold gilding, you know, it was this glossy, look at, you can even see me, hello, and my phone that's recording this, and my fan, you know, trying to keep me cool. And it, you know, glossy, very reflective, but very hard to shuffle. There wasn't enough like flow or glide on the cards that would allow it to shuffle smoothly. This new edition, I will say, does do that, but this version here, I trimmed it down, but even then it's like, and this is one thing that I will say, if you do trim the gold edges off, I fear that's what's going to cause it to do that again, because this is the very old, like this is the very, very first, like, this is the very first Marielle I had. This is the one that I studied. This is the one that I worked with. This is the one that I started tarot with, honestly. And, you know, it's very well worn. It's shuffled. It's peeling off. That's another thing that I say, if you are going to get the glossy one with the border so that you can trim it yourself, I recommend you don't trim it. That's what I recommend. Do not trim it. I recommend you keep it as long as possible like this. I think the gold edges might help prevent the peeling, but I'm pretty sure that will eventually happen anyways. So that when that does happen, when that peeling does happen on the lamination, you easily just trim that off and you have, you know, brand new edges, no peeling on there. But trimming does, with this type of cardstock, will, you know, it will peel again. And that eventually is when you get a new one, which is why I hope they don't discontinue this one. And I'm not one to like buy like multiples of it, but you know, there are others out there that do. This new edition, though, it is what are we doing? What are we doing? My camera was doing something weird. This new edition, completely borderless. It does have the titles on there, printed on there like a meme, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Though I do wish that it had it in a different way, and I'm going to show you how. There were some concept images, mock-up images that she posted on her Facebook. If you go to Mary White's Facebook, you can definitely see like some of the old images and her, you know, work through making this deck. But I do like that it is borderless. I am going to use this even with the card changes that I was a little disappointed with, but you know, I can work with it. The cardstock is different. It is not glossy reflective. It is like, you know, well, I'm not sure if you can still kind of see me, like, hello, yeah. But it's more like, I can't describe it. It's not glossy. I'll call it that. It's more smooth, more satiny, I guess you could say. It's different. It's really hard to describe. It's not like a groundbreaking matte cardstock like Wild Unknown. Wild Unknown, that is matte cardstock. Do you see what my camera's doing? I think it's trying to follow my finger or something. But yeah, sorry about that. But you know, that's matte cardstock. This, I mean, I guess it's closer to matte than what, you know, the glossy version was, you know, compared to the glossy version. This is definitely matte, you know, but there it is again. What is it doing? Getting used to a new phone and a new camera. The adventures of me. I wonder if I can. No, but no. Trying to do things here, but I can't. Anyways. Moving on. I need a new phone arm so I can have a higher angle. Anyways. So, enough about that. the black edges, they are wearing out. We'll cross that bridge when it's, full on white on there. But anyways, so there are a few copies of, oh my god, there are a few copies of the one without the gilding, still running around. I think if you go to like Book Depository or Wordery, there you're probably gonna get those there. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, they have the gold edges on it. So yeah. Why is it doing that? Hold on, I'm gonna pause and fix that. Nope, I can't fix it right now because I'm still recording. I don't like to take multiple takes because I don't like to cut images. It saves time for me. Anyways. But anyways, moving on. Oh, enough of this. Right, one last thing. Focus on my finger, please. All right, one last thing about this, okay? The very, very first edition, before the gold gilding, this did not crease at all when I riffle shuffled it. Okay, and I riffle shuffled it. I did not go easy on this Marielle Tarot, and even when it was untrimmed, I did not go easy on it. This creases. I don't know if this is the card that has one. Here, let me find one real quick. Oh, here's one creased. You can kind of see it right there on the edge. That's probably from me going too hard on it, but I just thought Schiffer usually has really thick, sturdy cardstock. It's usually a cardstock that I can go all out on it and it's not gonna crease on it. I know the Devil got creased. I know I think the Ten of Cups got creased on the corner. It was I misshuffled it. I missed a shuffle or something, and it just got creased and I was like, what the heck, and yeah, here's the Devil. Look at the back of the Devil. That is a crease right there. So just beware if you are a riffle shuffler and you are able to riffle shuffle a deck like this. Go be careful with it. It does crease very easily. Well, not super easily. Just be careful when you're riffle shuffling it. Just make sure you have a good firm, shuffle in there, and you'll be good. All right. So, anyways, enough about that. Enough of all that. Let's move on to the art changes here and the evolution from the very old version, which I just showed in that image from that, I don't know what website it is. Again, I'm gonna share the website link because this was a very helpful little guide as to hey, this is what the old images were. So so let's start with the High Priestess here. Let's go through numbers here. All right, so first of all, High Priestess. This was the High Priestess from the very beginning, and this is the High Priestess now with the second edition. If my camera will focus on it, focus on me. Focus on me. Not focus on that. I don't know if it will. But yeah, here's the High Priestess. There it goes. And there's the first and second edition of the High Priestess. First, second. So she definitely with a more Rider-Waite-Smith design here on this one, but it still looks like the Rider-Waite-Smith by Mary White, honestly, which I would like to see. I would like to see a Rider-Waite-Smith with her art style if she would be willing to put in the time and effort for that, because I know the art style that she has, it seems like it's really long, painstakingly long, from what I've seen, but it took her over 10 years to make, I want to say. But anyways, this one though is weird enough and unique enough that it is the Marielle. It is, it's the Marielle. You see it and you're yeah, that's the Marielle. And that's what I go to the Marielle for. I go to the Marielle for the Marielle. I don't go to the Marielle for a Rider-Waite-Smith or the Thoth or the Marseille. I go for it because it is its own unique system, though the majors are pretty much the same, give or take a few cards. But it's a very unique system that you don't want so. But I do know why she changed it. If you go to her blog, which I'm going to try and link in the description down below as well, you're going to see that she also writes why she made these changes and why she did that. How these two pillars are associated to the nines, because that's associated to the ninth Sephiroth, which is associated to the moon, which is the planet that she's associated to. It's a lot of associative things, but all the nines all have a type of a black and white pillar there. So yeah, but Anyways, I do wish that, with the second edition, I wish that instead of switching 4 cards, that they had 4 extra alternate cards so that we could pick and choose between whether we wanted this one or we wanted to pick with something, stick with something we're more comfortable with. I wish she did that with all of them because I do like both of these. If I do have alternate cards, I'll try to use both because these look like two sides of the same coin. Like they're, two iterations of the High Priestess, like, but unique enough, where this one's much more monstrous and like almost like how she writes about this High Priestess. Well, also about this one, but how she writes about the High Priestess is very much like almost like a eldritch horror. Am I pronouncing that right? Eldritch? Anyways, I always struggle with pronunciations, but I never waste the time and I never invest the time and effort to actually learn how to pronounce things. But anyways, that's that on that. I don't hate this High Priestess. I actually quite like it. Even though it is more Rider-Waite-Smith than Marielle. It's I still like it. I still like it. I'm okay with it. All right. So. Next card, and this is one that quite a few people were very disappointed with, and that is the Hierophant, but some people were very like, oh, thank God she changed that. I'm one of the ones that I'm like, whatever. I do quite like this Hierophant. It's much more of that gentle teacher, I'm going to say. Not that that's like weakening or lessening it, but it is still the Hierophant. It's still like shrouded in darkness, but just in a much more, approachable way. Here it is. Here I would see definitely that the representation of the number 5 being a card of difficulties and discord. It's the farthest from the 1 and the 10. It's the number 5 is a very difficult number, so the Hierophant to be shown in such like a gentle way, it's kind of like, well, what's the point? It's like, but here it's kind of like you're going through these difficult times. The Hierophant's kind of that teacher, that mentor that you would go to help guide you through this different time, if you want to view it like that. But here it's much more like, the dark, disgrace and fallen, fall from grace, you could say, that the 5s kind of represent, I guess, that she's kind of pushing through here. Here it's supposed to be Babylon here. Here, not so much. This is, yeah, I definitely see it like a blasphemous type of card here with the first edition. Here it's more of like a normal Hierophant. It very reminds me of like the Thoth or the Terror of the Spirit, which I do quite like both of those. I do see that there's much more of a Thoth influence with this one, and I quite like it. And I do also like that the design changes that she made, making the Caduceus in here with the 2 snakes and the winged, disc there, which reflects, which is supposed to reflect the Fool, which again she writes all about this in her blog posts about the card changes. So I highly recommend you go check those out if you have not. So yeah, next we have the Judgment card. And here the first Judgment card is definitely that energetic, chaotic, sparking, very like cosmic, Big Bang type of huge eruptive type of card. Here it's definitely much more transformative. It's much more like kind of like right after the change, like the smoke is clearing, it's steaming off, the heat is being released, and it's cooling down and it's becoming something new, I guess. But and I still get that fire element here, but it's a little different. You get more of the color spectrum of Judgment or the Eon card from Thoth, and it is still the Phoenix. The design wise it hasn't really changed much. But it does evoke different energies here. Also, here's another thing with borderless cards being mass produced. You see that there? That right there is some, it's like this is the edge of a different Judgment card here, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. What is that? That's weird. I'm like, wait a second, wouldn't it be mirrored then? Like, why would that? weird, right? Like this should be I don't know. I don't know how they make borderless cards. I wish I could get a sneak peek behind that one day. But anyways, here's the last card and the most controversial card, because this is a card that a lot of people were disappointed with. A lot of people love this first edition of the Three of Swords here. Not so much that doom and gloom. It definitely showed that, growth that was like going to be quite painful. I mean, like, it's this dove carrying sharp swords. And here we're going back to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Like I said, again, I'm going to reiterate it. I go to the Marielle not for the Rider-Waite-Smith. I go to the Marielle for the Marielle. I go for, I don't go for something that I already know. It's its own unique system that, why would I want to go to something that I already have? If I wanted to go to that, I'd get my Rider-Waite-Smith. And that was like, I was very like upset about that, and I was very disappointed about that. But I eventually came to terms with this Three of Swords, and I kind of saw, again, that painful growth. That's really what she's trying to say. That's why she added these roses here. If you read, what Robert M. Place writes about his Three of Swords and his Alchemical Tarot, you can see a lot of similarities between the two, with the stabbed heart bleeding and the roses feeding off of that blood and blooming. But anyways, enough about that. Let's move on to some of the cards that changed here from the very, very beginning. I'm not sure if this is going to show up well in the camera, but I'm going to do my best. So this is the very first star card that she had. I wish this was an alternate card, but yeah, here's what it looked like before. I don't know if you can get a good view of it. I'm going to scan it, so you can get a good view of what the star card looked like. Pretty big, but I do quite like it. It looks very much like almost like it matches up with the Judgment card a little bit from the old first edition for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's like the raid head part, with the wings kind of matching up there. I don't know, somehow it does match with her. But anyways, yeah, I do quite like it. You can see the 4 elements behind the star here. But yeah, I wonder what she says about this. I wonder why she changed it, because I do like the colors do match up with the star. It matches up with what the star, relates to. The old star, well, the star used to be, the star that we have now in the decks available in the first and the second edition is what used to be the Hierophant card. So you can see that she originally had a much more gentler approach to the Hierophant. You kind of see that, whereas, if you want to make this comparison, some decks do make this comparison of like the Hierophant as like the shepherd, leading the flock, the group of people, the star is the guiding light that guides us all. Everybody follows, this one main star, and eventually, they'll end up in the same place, I guess. Anyways, I'm trying to find it here. Is that it? No, that's not it. Where is the star card? Do I not have it? Is it missing? Did I miss it? Oh no, I took it out. I'm like, it's not in that stack because it shouldn't be in that stack, because it's here. So this used to be the old Hierophant card, and you kind of see that, where she is the Hierophant and the people surrounding her are the supplicants, or the servants to her, or the students to learn from her, and she's guiding them all. But here you can see like the star on her, and she's guiding them forward, essentially. Here I kind of get that. I feel like with how the arms are in this one, it's like this figure is gathering up energy up towards himself or themselves, or something. I don't know. I really would wish that she talked about this. I wonder if she did. I'll have to scour her blog and see her Facebook and see if she writes anything about that. But anyways, moving on. Another full color image that I took from her Facebook, from Mary White's Facebook, is an old 5 of Cups, I want to say is what this used to be. And this is a depiction of Dionysus. And here it's, Dionysus is, I always thought of him as like the god of debauchery and, wine and drinking and partying and for a bit of fertility, I want to say. But doing more research on him, doing more research on Bacchus and Dionysus, you do see, a huge, like, there's much more to him. He has like certain links to how, in certain creation myths of how man was created, he plays a huge role into that. And so him being in the fives is actually quite, quite makes sense. I also like how there's this like line work here going on here, which you see in the page of discs, and I want to say in some other cards as well, but I'm not sure. But anyways, this is the Five of Cups that we do have here, and instead of Dionysus, she went with Chiron, the unicorn, and Sleipnir, being blended into one. Again, I would have preferred, either or. I think this is a very beautiful card. I think it's very unique. I do like this depiction of Dionysus. I like her depictions of, of deities. They don't look, super like supermodels types of bodies. They look like almost a little bit, out of shape or anything. But, again, you don't know how deities are going to, appear to you. But anyways, moving on to the next one. Here we have the Magician and the Four of Wands. Here she went with a much more Egyptian theme here with the sun, very sun focused, and also bee focused, honeybees and all that. So very, I think she was going more for like a depiction of the sun god here for the Four of Wands. Here the Magician, I can't remember what exactly she was going for, but. She does explain it, and she does say why she changed the Magician to what we have now today. And you do see some similarities there. You see the cloak there and all that, and the lemniscate, but different. You see here in the background these petals, which I kind of associate to the ripples here in the water. Maybe I don't know. She doesn't really explain like whether this is like ripples of the water or a rose. Probably both. But yeah, I do like this new Magician though. But anyways, moving on. So this one, I believe she said the lions here are supposed to be another Four of Wands. And then she went with the burning tree type of imagery, I guess. If you got the sketch deck, I think this is the card for the Four of Wands that you get. Here's the Five of Discs. And again, you see that triangular, design going on there, which I think might make a star, might make a pentacle. I think I could be wrong. Because if you see, it looks like the bottom corner of the pentacle, and that's another arm, and it would go on to another. Anyways. But yeah, very beautiful. Very, it's very Marielle. And then here we have something that I wish she did with the world card. I wish she incorporated like a lot of these ideas into the world card here. With Nuit here, or Nut, above, arching over, swallowing the sun, and then giving birth to it again. The scarab here above her. She made it much more simpler, and it just left the dancing woman here in the world card, which is still beautiful, and I still like it. But I do wish that she kind of completed this and added this in there. But I wonder why not. She doesn't really divulge like why not Nuit? I feel like Nuit would be much more like kind of confusing for like maybe the Eon for the world for Judgment, and maybe the Scarab would be too like Sun card ish, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, here is a concept for the borders that she had for the old Marielle Tarot, which I do quite like. I think it's supposed to be a lion and a phoenix, or a dragon and a lion. I can't remember. I think it's like a phoenix and a lion. I can't remember. She describes it in her Facebook page, but I do quite like it. I'm like, I don't get it why people have borders that aren't like, why not have it like that, Instead they have these plain black ones, like, which aren't bad, but I'm like, I do love a designed border. I think it just looks so much better. It would keep me from wanting to trim the deck. I think borders should also be like a picture frame. They're to frame the card. But anyways, moving on. She also had here a little sketch of the Two of Cups. I guess not sure why, but I'm pretty sure she had a reason for it. But anyways, so if you go through her Facebook, you're gonna see a lot of different sketches and all that. Here's one that I do quite like. This is the Seven of Cups, an old concept for the Seven of Cups, coming out of the World Tree, I believe is what it is. And it's the dark wolf coming forward, the dark horse, the shadow self, I guess, coming out of the world tree. So yeah, that's, and I think there's like quite a few different iterations of this card that she went through before she finally settled on on a very simplified. That's pretty much it. Like she simplified it, but in its simplicity, it looks very beautiful. Uh, because I do like how starkly different it is from the Seven of Wands, which is like its opposite, where it's the white wolf facing directly towards us. Here, it's like the dark wolf looking in another direction, kind of distracted, like going into different directions. Anyways, so yeah, enough about that. I think that's it for all the differences. Again, I'm going to try and link everything. Probably not. I'm just kidding. I'm definitely going to link all the websites and everything of where I got all my stuff, all my information, all my sources, and all that, and where you can buy these decks. I really hope Red Feather Schiffer doesn't stop making the one with the gold edges, because it really does shuffle like really smoothly. I do like this. Like, you hear that? Do you hear how smooth that glides? How easy it is? It's like no hassle whatsoever. Like, it's just so, it, I'm still like barely holding on, because it is such a big deck. So yeah, but it just glides super easy. I don't know if I'm going to do this because this is a smooth wood surface. So let's see. It's just easy to like, glide through like that. So anyways, there we go. I don't know what else to say about it. This one, when I did get this one, the cards did stick together. Why is my camera doing that? My camera's just going all over the place. I don't know why. But this one is just like, it's okay. I think now after shuffling with it a few times, it's now, kind of like, it works now. But anyways, I'm happy that they listened and they did the changes that we were asking for. Borderless, black edges. I would have done like maybe red, but I would have done like metallic black. I wouldn't, I don't know what this is like. It's not really metallic because the metallic sticks better. It doesn't fade out like this black one where you actually see smudges of black ink on the box. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. I think I know someone probably emailed Red Feather or Schiffer, and they'll probably be like in the comments, be like, "This is why it's done like this," and we're like, "Well, that explains a lot." I just want an explanation, maybe. But anyways, that's it for today. I just please don't. I wish they just kept both editions available. That's what I think a lot of people want. What I would love to see is the sketch deck, go for a second edition, another printing by, have her, if she would like be willing to, self-publish the black and white sketch version of the Marielle again. I would definitely pick that up. But what I would also like to see is like a super deluxe like version of it with like in not only like the alternate sketches like this, in it, but also like the old cards that she didn't end up using for like alternate versions of it, like the star card, that Four of Wands, the Five of Discs. I would like that, like all like a gallery of like all the different, very unique different iterations of the different cards in it. I would really love to see that as like a, this is the evolution of the Marielle, have like two versions of that star card, one as like its Hierophant version and one like with the Hierophant title on it, and then another with the star title on it. It would be like a lot of cards, but I would buy it. I would buy it. I would. Because I just love the Marielle so much. Something that a lot, very like, people try to compare other decks to it, and it's nothing ever, they try, let's be real, people try, but nothing ever really compares to the Marielle ever, like ever. It's I'm still looking, we still out here looking for a comparison. But anyways, that's it for today. I don't know I don't know what else to say. I hope you all enjoyed. If you are, new to my channel, don't forget to, subscribe, ring the bell, like, comment, let me know what you think. I know a lot of people were disappointed with with the second edition. I'm okay with it now. What else? I do readings, live readings, every time I can. Sometimes, rarely, I'll do free live readings where I list the 10 people that get free readings, and, that's it. Rarely, though. Rarely, but, things have been kind of hectic recently, so let's see. Whenever I'm live, just drop in and ask, like, hey, readings? If I'm just, like, chatting or, not doing readings, I'll be like, sorry, no. But, anyways. But always check in, because sometimes I just get the random urge to do readings. So, yeah. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Yeah. I know. Shout out to Kelly from the Truth and Story for doing a much better comparison video than I did. So yeah, because and after this, I'm gonna go back and finish watching it, because I'm like, I need to put in my 2 cents. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye, everyone. Oh, you're not gonna stop. You're not gonna stop recording now.